Welcome everyone, I'm Melissa. In this series, I'm making delicious, versatile, and easy to prepare recipes. Today, I'm gonna show you how to make my tamale pie. It's kicked up with Nice's country-style hot sausage. So for this tamale pie, you're gonna find so much flavor throughout. We're gonna be cooking the Nice's hot sausage with zucchini and other vegetables, and then we're gonna top it with a nice fluffy layer of masa. So all of this is gonna be baked together in the oven, and we'll top it with a roasted pepper salsa. So that's actually how I'm gonna start preparing this dish. I'm gonna take these beautiful red peppers and put them into the oven so they blister and char on the outside. That's gonna give them a really beautiful smoky flavor. So you just want to watch the peppers, and every few minutes when the skin gets nice and black, you're going to rotate them so that all the sides get nice and dark, and then we'll steam them underneath a little bit of plastic wrap. So while those are getting prepared, I'm going to start cooking my sausage. I'm letting my skillet get to about a medium-high heat so that way I can cook it quickly and just break it up as it's cooking. I'm gonna add just a little bit of coconut oil, but you can choose whichever cooking fat you like. I chose to use the hot sausage because I wanna kick this up so it's gonna have some good spiciness throughout. I'm gonna add in just a little pinch of salt while this is cooking to enhance the flavors. I have a strainer set up so that I can let this sausage cool and also remove the fat so that I can use that and separate it. In with the sausage, I'm gonna add some zucchini, some poblano pepper, and some onion. So I'm gonna start by cutting up my zucchini. I'm gonna cut them into some about medium diced pieces. Once they get softened, they'll still be nice and hearty. So we've got our zucchini all diced and ready to go. I'm gonna dice up this onion. I'm just using half of an onion, and to keep it all together, I always leave on the root end, and then I slice toward the root with the tip of my knife. So the last ingredient I'm going to cut up is this poblano pepper, and I just love the level of heat that's in the poblano pepper. It adds a ton of flavor, gives it a little bit of a kick, but it'll balance out really well with that already hot sausage that we've got in the dish. I'm just going to cut it lengthwise and then use the tip of my knife to remove the stem and the seeds. Beautiful. Do my last turn on the peppers. I'm always cut my peppers from the inside rather than the skin, because even if you have a sharp knife, it can be a lot more difficult to cut through the skin. It's a little slick. So my peppers are ready to go. I'm gonna pull them out of the oven. While they're cooling down, I'm gonna place them into a bowl and cover them with a piece of plastic wrap. And that's gonna use the residual heat to steam the inside of the pepper so that they'll soften, and also the skin I'll be able to peel off much easier. Just cover this up nice and tight and set it aside until it's cool enough to handle. So I'm gonna mince up some garlic to add to my dish. I'm gonna start the heat in my pan once again. Bring it to about a medium heat. There's still a little bit of the sausage fat still in the pan, so I'm not gonna need to add any more. I'm gonna go ahead and add my onions and my poblano peppers in. We just want everything to sweat. You're just removing some of the excess moisture. And in that initial bit of excess moisture, you've got a little bit of a harsher acidic flavor, especially in things like the onions. So next I'm gonna add my dry spices. I've got some cumin and some ancho pepper. My next thing is going to be some tomato paste. So move everything around in the pan a little bit, and when you see the tomato paste tint in color, then you can start to add your zucchini. And then next, I'm gonna add some chicken stock. And because it's gonna stew for a little while, that's why I didn't want to add the zucchini until just before I added the stock, so it won't get overly tender and mushy. So I'm just letting this come up to a really nice simmer, making sure it's bubbling throughout before I add the sausage back in. I'm gonna lower the heat a little bit and let that go for about 10 minutes. So as my sausage mix has been stewing, it's just filling my kitchen with this beautiful aroma, and it's gonna be a perfect base for this masa topping. I know that I need 1/3 of a cup of the total fat that I'm adding into the mix, so I wanna measure this out first, see what I've got, and if I need to, I can add a little bit of coconut oil to just bring it up to that 1/3 cup. And it looks like I'm almost there. I could probably use just about a teaspoon. So now that we've got that, I'm gonna add my other wet ingredients. I'm gonna add 3 eggs. It's really best if your eggs are room temperature for this. Otherwise, they won't mix into the fat as easily. And then we're gonna add a 3/4 cup of milk. So now for our dry ingredients. So we're using masa, and to the masa, we've got about 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder and a pinch of salt. And I'm just gonna dry my whisk a little bit before I whisk these together, and that will combine. So just whisk until the lumps are gone and it's nice and smooth. So I really didn't think this dish could get any better, but adding some sharp cheddar cheese into this mix is gonna give it so much creaminess and just really finish it off well. For my topping, the only thing left to do is fold in the cheese, and I can assemble, and I'm using a square 8x8 casserole dish. If you have a large enough skillet that you've baked everything in, you could also just put the masa mix right on top and put it directly into the oven. So I'm just gonna spread this down, make sure it's nice and even, then we'll top it with our masa mix. So this is gonna go right into the oven at 375 for about 30 minutes. So now that the tamale pie is baking in the oven, I can focus on making my salsa. This is really gonna add some fresh flavor to the top, more texture, a little bit of acidity. So this is all gonna be based with our beautifully roasted peppers. And we're just gonna peel these down. So I've got some red onion. So for cutting the avocado, slice through the middle and keep your knife where it is and just rotate the avocado. I'm just gonna dice this up, follow that with my pepper. So next I'm gonna mince up some cilantro for the salsa. It's just the perfect complement for herbaceous flavor. Next, we're gonna add in some lime juice, and I like to use a pair of tongs to just squeeze out the juice. Next, I'm gonna add in just a bit of my red onion and a pinch of salt. Give this a nice mix. So my salsa's ready. I'm gonna put it into the refrigerator because I like the balance of a chilled topping for a nice warm tamale pie. It just makes the perfect balance. So you know that your tamale pie is ready when the masa has baked up really nice and fluffy as it has here. So you can touch the top of it and you can tell that it's light and fluffy underneath, but it's not mushy. So you want that to fully cook. The cheese is also melted really well throughout, and we have our salsa. It was in the refrigerator for at least about 20 minutes, but having that nice chill to complement this warming dish is just perfect. You can also vary the heat level if you want to use the Nice's hot or the Nice's mild country sausage. It'll be delicious. So make this your own. I truly hope you enjoy it from my kitchen to yours.